The African American Cultural Festival of Raleigh and Wake County is back for its 15th year, and it's bigger and better. Organizers expect more than 40,000 people to join the celebration because once you attend, you'll know it is not just an event. It's an experience. WRAL is a proud community partner. Joining us to talk about what you can expect is Laura Bethea-Lewis, chair of this year's festival. Laura, great to see you. And each year, the Cultural Festival offers a variety of outreach programs that promote education, collaboration, and social change. So what can folks expect this year?
Yes, thank you. We're elated to just share the goodness that the African American Culture Festival brings to downtown Raleigh. So traditionally, we'll have numerous hundreds of vendors, food, merchandise, art vendors. Oh my goodness, just a wealth of culture, art, just the experience of collaboration, partnership, community, and economic empowerment for our small businesses and entrepreneurs. So just a great opportunity to connect, to bring families together. This is a destination that has been a family reunion destination. So we're excited to bring in families and having two stages, one stage for our children, the Family Village stage with numerous performances, a creativation station for students, just a wonderful way to connect our youth to the programming and to what we offer. And we also have a main stage with live performances. You'll get a host of artists locally, regionally, nationally, and they're coming to meet us for the 15th annual event right here in downtown Raleigh.
Yeah.
Now, we do have some wonderful traditional pieces, our processional, everyone is invited. Community, friends, let's march down Belleville Street. We'll learn African dances. We'll take on a new route, but we're gonna embrace each other, love on each other as we proceed down Belleville Street prior to the festivities beginning on Saturday around 10 a.m. Thereafter, yes.
I said, sounds like a wonderful celebration for the 15th anniversary. For those who have never been, what would you highly recommend, and what do you enjoy the most about the festival?
Oh my goodness, I love the community. I love uniting with people, making connections, networking, but to expect as a newcomer, just being overloaded with just goodness, goodness in all that we do. We have an experience that you will not forget, 15 years strong. We also have brought to the table a VIP experience that adds on to this free festival. So it's open to the public, free, but also there's parking available just steps away from our main stage at this point. There's also a comedy brunch that we'll host with comedian Chocolate. So get ready to eat, have a few laughs. And also on Sunday, a new addition would be a worship service right on our blueprint. So worship with us, with Pastor Dean and the church here, Wake Chapel Church. It's going to be a beautiful connection.
It's going to be a wonderful weekend, yes, for connection. And we want to let people know about the where this is all taking place Saturday and Sunday in downtown Raleigh. WRAL is a proud community partner of this 15th annual African American Cultural Festival. That's Saturday and Sunday. WRAL's Gerald Owens, Aaron Thomas, Chris Lee, Ken Smith, and Julian Grace will all serve as MCs for this. So if you don't have plans for Labor Day weekend, not going out of town, you'll definitely want to check this out. Laura Bethea-Lewis, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you there.
And happening right now in the WRAL Life Center, we have just learned that Wakefield High School is dismissing early today because of air conditioning problems. They're dismissing at 12 o'clock. We just got this into the newsroom. They say because of problems with their air conditioning, we will be dismissing students at 12 o'clock. Buses will provide transportation home for students, and also staff will remain on campus with students until they are picked up. And also Willow Spring High School, they were dismissed early at 11 o'clock for the same thing, problems with their air conditioning. And because of these high temperatures today, it's just not something they can risk keeping kids in the classroom.
Today marks 19 years since Hurricane Katrina made landfall in Louisiana. The storm caused extensive, devastating damage along the Mississippi Gulf Coast and in New Orleans itself. Katrina is blamed for more than 1,800 deaths and causing about $200 billion worth of damage. A number of commemorations and ceremonies are being held across New Orleans today. If I remember correctly, a Cat 5 out of the Gulf of Mexico hitting that area was just devastating. And Amy Williams is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Cat 5, wasn't it, Amy? And
You're right, yeah.
we're about at the height of hurricane season right now, so we're glad the tropics are quiet.
Yeah, nice and quiet, but there is a system that could become a tropical storm, and I'm going to talk more about that in the next half hour. Right now, we're going to focus a little bit on the heat. 2 of those schools having to dismiss early because of HVAC issues, and look at the temperatures, 95 in Durham, in Raleigh, Apex, 93 in Fayetteville. But then when you factor in the dew point, this is what it feels like. It feels like 102 in Raleigh and Durham. 102 is the feels like temperature in South Hill. It feels like 100 in Goldsboro. In our southern communities, 104, the heat index in Fayetteville, 106 in Clinton. The heat advisory is now in effect, and it continues until 7 o'clock this evening. So some dangerous heat out there today with a heat index up to about 105, but we just saw 106 down in Sampson County. So very hot today. Now the heat index over the weekend will be in the upper 90s, so it backs off a little bit, but it's still very hot. And then Monday for Labor Day, we'll have a heat index in the upper 80s, so starts to cool off a little bit by the time we get to early next week. Now we do have a weak frontal boundary that's north of us, and it's going to be close enough to us this weekend that we'll have some unsettled weather. And then this cold front will move through Monday, and behind the front, it's going to feel so much better by the time we get into the middle part of next week. But we need some rain. We've had 15 days in a row with no rain. The last measurable rain at RDU was on August 13th, and it was just 3/100ths of an inch. Now we're still looking okay for the past 30 days. Look at central North Carolina, above normal rainfall because of all the rain we had earlier this month. But that's going to kind of tell you why the drought monitor doesn't look that bad. So because we had that rain earlier this month, we are still drought free. This is new. We're still drought free in central North Carolina. But I know all my neighbors, I've been having to water my garden. We've all been having to water our yards because we just haven't had any rain in over 2 weeks. So we need some rain. Tonight we'll get some after midnight tonight. Some of you will get some storms, and then we'll have scattered storms Friday, some spotty storms Saturday, scattered storms on Sunday, and just an isolated shower storm on Monday. So let's take a look at futurecasts. This is for today. Most of the day is dry. By the time we get to 7 o'clock, maybe a couple of isolated storms, but it's really after sunset. So this is midnight tonight that some of these storms are going to work in from Virginia. So while you're sleeping, you could hear some rumbles of thunder, and we do have that level 1 risk. Some damaging winds will be possible within some of those storms. And then Friday, we start dry, but we get into the afternoon and evening, we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms. That will continue on and off through the weekend. It's not going to be a washout this weekend, but the second half of your day through the weekend will feature the potential for some scattered showers and storms. This is Saturday. We have just a 30% chance for some storms on Saturday. College football tonight, UNC at Minnesota. Storms are likely there. It's on Fox 50 at 8 o'clock. NC State, it's going to be hot, 90, just a slim chance for a storm. And then tomorrow, Elon at Duke. Scattered storms will be possible for that, but it won't be as hot. So we have the big heat through the weekend. Labor Day, the heat backs off, and then it really starts to feel better as we get into the middle part of next week. 78 for the high on Wednesday.
Amy, thanks. Coming up today on WRAL News at 4 p.m., one lawmaker is criticizing a state Supreme Court justice's decision to stay on a case involving his powerful father. We'll explain the issue.
And tonight at 6, victory for a whistleblower who was trying to help 500,000 people get better medical care and save our tax dollars. A WRAL investigation into North Carolina Medicaid upgrades that are overdue and over budget. Why one state agency knows about it but hasn't told taxpayers about its findings. Well, still ahead this noon, from the color of your curtains to the make and model of your vehicle, random strangers are just a few clicks away from your private information. Ahead, we'll show you how to protect information about your property.
And later, is election stress getting to you? Experts reveal how to stay calm as the presidential campaign season kicks into high gear. Google Street View on Maps allows people to find shops, routes, and homes. But what if you don't want your sensitive information available to the public? Maribel Aber looks at how you can protect yourself on Google Maps.
There are plenty of ways to protect your privacy online, and that goes for your house as well. If you're a Google Maps user, you may have checked out Street View, that up-close look at streets, buildings, and homes. It's useful, but there are concerns too. Namely, it can be used by criminals as a way to check out your home without having to show up in person. There is a way to block your home from being shown. CNET recently outlined the simple steps to blur your home and prevent others from seeing too many details of where you live. They recommend doing it on your computer. All you need to do is go to maps.google.com and enter your home address in the search bar. Hit return and then click the photo of your home that appears. Way down on the bottom right of the screen, you'll see an option to report a problem. From there, you can choose what you want Google to blur. You'll be asked for details and need to submit the request, and Google will get back to you once the request is either denied or approved. For more details, check out the full story at cnet.com.
That was Maribel Aber reporting. Americans have sued Google in the past over its use of residential images in its Google Map program. One lawyer suggests users choose the opt-out option if you think your privacy rights are being violated.
A UNC senior is the youngest woman to journey into space. How today's mission could affect her future plans. Plus,
I wasn't sure if we were going down, honestly. It was very scary.
United Airlines passengers described the moment their plane hit turbulence, tossing food and flight attendants around the cabin. And here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen. We'll be right back.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
A UNC Chapel Hill student has soared her way into the history books.
She is now the youngest woman at 21 years of age to ever travel past the Kármán line, known as out of Earth's atmosphere. WRAL's Noah Klein is here now, and Noah, that takeoff and landing perfectly successful this morning.
Oh, this is so cool. And we brought it to you live as it happened from the WRAL Live Center. You see the soar and then the successful landing as well. 6 people set off for space today, including UNC senior Carson Kitchen on Blue Origin's mission. They landed back on Earth around 9:15 this morning. The crew, while they were up there, they ran an experiment on how plants react to microgravity. Here's the moment she and the rest of the crew lifted off.
2, 1.
And if the kitchen name, if that sounds familiar, it's because her father, who's a UNC professor, also went on a mission into space back in 2022. Carson Kitchen is majoring in communications and astronomy over at UNC. She's pursuing a career in the space industry.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will remain on North Carolina's November ballots. The State Board of Elections, they actually voted during a special meeting today to keep him on. His We the People party asked to have him removed after he suspended his presidential bid. Kennedy has endorsed Republican nominee Donald Trump. You can go to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com to read more about this.
Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will hold their first highly anticipated interview. This interview is on the heels of the Democratic candidate's bus tour through the battleground state of Georgia. Author, television host, and radio personality Charlemagne that God chimed in on what Harris needs to do to win in November.
She has to go out there and continue to talk about rebuilding the middle class, talk about wanting everyone to have the opportunity to own a business, to own a home, talk about how you want to keep healthcare and grocery costs low. Those are her positions, and she has to speak to that, explain that every single chance she gets, because there is a lot of excitement in the party, a lot of new voters registered, but there is still a lot of undecideds. There's still those hypothetical swing voters. There's still those independents. And if all those folks got questions, she has to answer them, and that is what running for president is all about.
Harris and Walz, you see him here, pose for selfies in front of their new campaign bus during a stop in Savannah before traveling to another rural area. The trip culminates today with a rally in Savannah.
With just over 2 months until the election, the nonstop coverage of the presidential race could make some people feel stressed or overwhelmed. Psychologists say many people stress themselves out, imagining the worst case scenario. Experts say it's important to stop those thoughts in their tracks. Bring yourself back to the present. It's also okay not to take part in conversations surrounding politics.
Social media ads and blogs are often designed to trigger strong emotions and controversy. The more you scroll and comment, it's likely that this is going to trigger high levels of anxiety and stress. It's important to stay informed, but we also have to have good limits around how much media we consume on a daily basis.
So if you've noticed your stress is starting to interfere with your daily life, consider speaking with a mental health professional.
Covering Wake County, the state's fastest growing and highest rated roofing company is doing its part to help local children have a happy holiday. A&M Premier Roofing and Construction Company donated $20,000 to the Raleigh Police Department in support of the Shop with a Cop 2024 program. It allows police officers and local children in need connect and shop for holiday gifts while building positive relationships.
There's a lot of organizations out there doing things, but I'm not sure they're hitting home. And I think this is a great organization. I think it's a great program, and I think it makes a difference.
When we would give them a gift card, they would be so excited about it. They want to buy gifts for their families and for their siblings. But with this donation that we got today, we're going to be able to do more. They can buy a gift and still have money left over to buy themselves something so that they can have a great Christmas.
A&M Premier is committed to giving back to the community. They also provide a free roof for a veteran each quarter.
It's going to be a busy night around Carter Finley Stadium. You can expect traffic backups as fans make their way to NC State's season opening football game. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is helping us avoid the congestion as drivers also battle construction happening in that area.
If you're driving anywhere near Carter Finley Stadium tonight, you should expect to see some heavy traffic. There are so many road projects that are happening all over the area, including here on Western Boulevard. Crews will be here tonight installing some pipes around 7 o'clock, and that's right at kickoff time. A major road project near the stadium that could impact your evening commute is on Blue Ridge Road. You're looking at video now of the construction from last month. NCDOT says the project won't be complete until next year. All of the road projects that were active last football season are still under construction now, but there's one change you may have noticed last week. All eastbound traffic shifted on the Beltline from Western to Wade and Hillsborough Street. We caught up with NC State students who live near downtown. They say they're leaving early for tonight's game to avoid the traffic.
It takes like 20 minutes to get there, so it can be kind of crazy, especially on game days. I mean, our stadium is like right down the street. It should take 5 minutes, but it never does, so you have to leave way earlier.
NCDOT says they met with the State Highway Patrol to prep for any traffic impacts from tonight's game, so we'll be sure to keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
College football season also starts tonight for the UNC Tar Heels. They are on the road taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in Minneapolis. You can watch it on Fox 50. Pre-game starts at 7:30. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock.
A frightening experience for some passengers on board a recent United flight. Just ahead, the mid-air trouble that sent one person to the hospital and rattled many others. And later, a beloved baseball comedy closely tied to the Triangle is now a musical theater event. Find out how actors of Bull Durham are researching their roles at the DBAP today.
Just keep winning, get that W, yeah!
You are looking live at Southeast Wake County from the WRAL Tower Cam. A heat advisory in effect until 7 tonight. The heat index will feel as hot as 105. So find some shade or better yet, stay indoors. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
United Flight 1196 left Cancun, Mexico, heading for Chicago when it was diverted to Tennessee. Paramedics met the plane at the gate and took a passenger to the hospital. Passengers say it was a scary experience.
The flight attendant almost hit the ceiling. People were really hurt. We have stains all over our clothes because of food going everywhere. The ceiling is covered with food. It was one of the most traumatic things to be on a flight for.
6 others were injured on that flight but declined treatment. The extent of their injuries is unknown.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, an absolutely heartbreaking update out of Franklin County. A 1-year-old little boy that was hit by a truck in a driveway yesterday in Franklin County has died. We just learned this new information. This happened on Ridgecrest Drive in Franklin County. The child was taken to the hospital where he died. Authorities have not released any information about the driver. Authorities also say the crash was accidental.
It's so devastating. In less than 2 weeks, a musical adaptation of the 1988 hit movie about the Durham Bulls is set to debut in the Triangle. This is a live look at what's happening there. After the break, we'll show you where the Durham Bulls has a few extras on the field. Don't expect a rare crustacean to land on your plate. How this rare lobster avoided a date with death.
A story of 3 lives brought together by baseball and love, and it's coming to the Triangle. Bull Durham, a new musical, is based on the classic film from the 80s. WRAL's Scott Mason is live at the D-BAP to take a swing at this one, Scott, where these players are taking the field, right, for a little batting practice.
Oh, well, you talk about getting into the role. I mean, some of these actors are actually pretty good hitters. No home runs yet, but a few long, high fly balls. Bull Durham, the musical, runs September 10th through 22nd at Reynolds Theater at Duke here in Durham. And the choreographer is with me, Josh Bergas. Hey, Josh, now this looks like a lot of fun, but there's some real meaning here, isn't there?
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. But, you know, what we kind of like based all the choreography in the show on is actual, you know, baseball stances and habits and like hitting and fielding and running, pitching. So, you know, we came out here to actually like work with Coach Ray and some of the players and find out actually what those stances really are. Because, you know, we can watch them on TV, but to hear them from the actual pros, that like, you know, kind of like informs us so much more about our movements.
Yeah, now you're here from New York in the Triangle area. How's the play going? Is it exciting? Is it working out well?
Yeah, it's super exciting. I mean, this is such a great story, such a fun, you know, like to mix baseball and dance and music and it's just it's been a blast. And this cast is having so much fun, you know, kind of like melding all that stuff together. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much, Josh. I've actually seen some of the rehearsals, and it does look a lot of fun. The play is September 10th through 22nd at Reynolds Theater at Duke. A lot of the actors are from New York, though some from local and regionally around here. And be sure to buy a ticket and watch. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a home run. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, such an iconic movie, and now in musical form. That's just fantastic. That's like a dream of mine.
That is a win. So let me take a couple cuts there.
Okay, yeah.
I know you've played on that field before.
Well, and, you know, great that they're rehearsing and all that, but on the hottest day of the year, that just happens to time out that way. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Lots of sunshine out there, but boy, is it steamy.
It is, and the heat advisory is in effect, and it continues until 7 tonight. So if you are outdoors, just try to seek shade, drink a lot of water. 95 is the current temperature out at RDU. The dew point 71, so that makes it feel worse. The heat index values are in the triple digits in many spots. 102 in Raleigh and Durham. That's what it feels like as you step outside. It feels like 104 in Fayetteville, also 104 in South Hill, Virginia, 102 the current heat index in Clinton. Hour by hour, the heat index stays very high in the triple digits from now all the way through the 7 o'clock hour. So we have many hours to go to get through this dangerous heat. And it's going to stay pretty hot over the next few days, but this is the hottest day in the next 7 days. We do have a weak front to the north, and that's going to provide us with enough lift that we'll have some scattered storms late tonight and then also through the holiday weekend. And this front is going to move through on Monday, on Labor Day. That's going to bring some hit and miss storms, followed by some cooler temperatures by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Let's talk football Friday. So tomorrow evening, have the poncho with you. Be prepared for at least some delay. delays. We'll have scattered showers and storms for football Friday. The good news with the rain is it does bring temperatures down. We'll be in the 80s at the start of those games and then down into the upper 70s as they start to wind down. The holiday weekend forecast, 92 for the high Saturday. This is our local forecast. Just a 30% chance for storms on Saturday, so a lot of dry time. Sunday, a 50% chance, and then Monday, a 40% chance. So we'll be dodging some storms in the afternoon and evening hours through the weekend, but it is not a washout, and temperatures start to back off a little bit Monday with a high of 88. On to the tropics. This system now has a 40% chance of development over the next 7 days, and it could become a tropical storm as it approaches the Caribbean islands. It could become a tropical storm as we head into the end of next week into early next weekend, but nothing imminent for our coast. If you're headed to the coast for the holiday weekend, it's looking okay. There's going to be some storms, but the rip current risk today is low, and the preliminary rip current risk for the weekend, according to the National Weather Service, remains low. But just pay attention to the flags. If the red flags are flying, just stay out of the water. But right now, it's looking like things will be okay. Friday, if you're traveling Friday, there's going to be scattered storms across a good part of the state. The driest part of the state might be Morehead City and also just to the south of Charlotte, southeast of Charlotte. Saturday, we'll have scattered showers and storms. The coast might be the best place on Saturday, looking fairly dry, but a pretty good chance for some storms in the mountains. Sunday, maybe a couple of spotty storms along our southern beaches, but then dry for the rest of the area of the North Carolina coast, but scattered storms for central and western parts of the state. And then Monday on Labor Day, looks like the best chance would be around here all the way down to the coast. So as you're traveling home from the coast, you might be running into some storms. So some unsettled weather starting overnight tonight, continuing through the holiday weekend, but something to look forward to. 81 for the high Tuesday, 78 for the high temperature on Wednesday.
The WRAL weather team has been telling us about the heat advisory all day, and it will last until 7 tonight.
And students at 3 Wake County high schools are headed home early today due to problems with their school's air conditioning systems. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is live at Heritage High School, where parents are there picking up their kids now. Sean.
Yeah, it's a pretty busy scene that we have here right now as parents are on scene. They're in lines all the way here, and we actually have emergency crews that are here. Wake EMS telling me that they are treating several patients for heat-related issues at Heritage High School here. Now, that reason is because there was a building evacuation earlier today that required the students to go outside, and it is a very hot day. Wake EMS treating those kids for heat-related issues from being outside, and it has forced the school to close around noon today. Now, if you take a look over this way, the line of cars here are for a carpool with parents coming to pick up their kids. I have seen an ambulance arrive as EMS tells us that they are treating those several kids that are dealing with heat-related issues, and there are students that are out here on foot trying to leave as well. We are trying to get some information from parents who are waiting here as well, trying to get more information themselves, and we'll of course update you later this afternoon as that information does come in. But for now, we'll wrap up here in Wake Forest, but after the break, we'll take a look at today's top stories.
We wrap things up with a look at a few of the headlines we're following for you today.
There's a heat advisory in effect until 7 tonight for much of the viewing area, including the Triangle. The heat index will likely peak around 105. Wakefield High School in Raleigh and Willow Spring High School in Fuquay-Varina had to dismiss students early today because of AC problems. There's also a level 1 severe risk for storms tonight.
Students at Heritage High School in Wake County are safe after a bomb threat prompted an evacuation. Before 10:45 this morning, the school sent a message to families stating that students were safe. The school moved all students and staff to the stadium, but dismissed early because of the heat outside.
A Fayetteville police officer has been arrested. WRAL News is working to learn the name of the officer and reason for the arrest. Fayetteville Police Chief Kim Braden plans to hold a news conference in less than 10 minutes. Look for updates on WRAL.com and on WRAL News at 4. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike is cautioning investors as it adjusts its forecasts. Back in July, a CrowdStrike update failed. That caused nearly 9 million computers to crash and canceled or delayed flights worldwide. CrowdStrike has lowered its performance outlook and issued downbeat guidance that could affect investor decisions and stock prices. The firm is also offering $60 million in incentives to customers affected by the outage. Yelp has filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google. The suit claims Google is using its monopoly to dominate search and advertising markets. In an online statement, Yelp accused Google of trying to keep consumers within its own walled garden. Weeks ago, a federal judge ruled Google violated antitrust laws with its search business. Google plans to appeal that decision.
Our pets of the day are a bonded pair of dogs that get their names from two Toy Story characters who also share a sibling-like relationship. This is Jessie and Woody right here. Both are 4 years old, just like yin and yang. They go perfectly together. Jessie's the black dog here, weighs 29 pounds. We're told he's shy. Woody, the tricolor dog there, weighs in at 39 pounds and is not remotely shy about sharing his feelings. For more information about this dynamic duo, you can visit spcawake.org.
A dynamic duo right there. We'd also like to highlight today's Clear the Shelters partner, the Orange County Animal Services. The organization offers a wide selection of wonderful pets available for adoption on a first-come, first-served basis. For more information or questions about what pets they have available, call that number at 919. We don't have that number on your screen, but it's 919-942-7387. And you can go to our website for details and find your new companion today.
While we're talking about rescues, an extremely rare lobster has been rescued from a supermarket. Clementine is a bright orange lobster with a 1 in 30 million color mutation. It caught the eye of supermarket workers in Southampton, New York, when she arrived with a shipment of brown lobsters earlier this summer. So they set her aside, hoping to find a home for her far from any dinner plates. With the help of a local humane society, Clementine was rehabilitated and returned to the ocean.
Some people's worst nightmare was all the buzz at the Minnesota State Fair. Volunteers wore a beard of about 10,000 honeybees in a demonstration yesterday. It's an annual tradition celebrating its 25th year. Now, to form the beard, a small cage holding the queen is placed around the volunteer's neck, and the other bees follow. One volunteer says it feels a little prickly. Believe it or not, none of the volunteers got stung. I don't know if I could stay that still.
No thanks. No thanks. I'll hold a snake. I'm not doing that. Coming up on WRAL News at 4 p.m., Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz will be in Raleigh this afternoon and evening, and we'll have coverage of his visit and his message for North Carolinians.
Okay, the heat index out there is going to get as high as 105, so take it easy out there and just try to stay indoors in the AC if you can.
It's really nothing to mess with, as we have seen from those kids having to stay outside at school there, and now they're going home.
All right. But the good news is the heat will back off in the next several days. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can also get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Try to stay cool. Have a great day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.